And then state what is our agenda for tonight's stream.
Kousei, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, hello guys, hello everybody. I'm Jose from YGG, and for today's agenda is all about Axie Origins, the Mystic era. So, what do we expect and potential theory crafting ideas or compositions that we might use for the Mystics, and yeah.
Hi guys. So as per usual, my name is Biggabie. I'm the vice captain of YGG Lead. I am Kousei's boss, basically. Okay, kidding. So, yeah, like as to what Kousei said, we'll be going through the latest subset on the Axie Infinity by Axie Infinity, which is going to be covering everything we need to know about the Mystic era. So yeah, so I think like without further ado, we'll just like jump straight into it. So okay, so when we look into the subset or into this subset. The first thing they show is just an infographic on like introducing the era, explaining what the Mystic era is and stuff like that, right? So here is like a TLDR of the Mystic era. Basically, it's 7 days long. It's worth 15% of the entire AXS pool, right? So yeah, and in terms of like okay. So what's the difference between like Mystic era and Epic era? Because if you want to talk about the difference, I guess.
Yeah, so basically, talking about Epic and Mystic era is like a lot different, I guess, because the compositions are for sure will be different between those. So that's why we also need to know, or that's why we also need to tackle about Mystics, especially its runes and charms. So what it does, and what comps do we, or what axes do we want to use in Mystics, because epics for sure are also different, right? So we also need to know what card sets do we want along with mystic runes and charms. So that's why we need to tackle about it. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like the difference is like what Kosai said is we see the mystic stuff or things that are mystic rarity are unlocked. So people are now starting to play with mystic runes and mystic charms. So the first few days, as to every new era, a lot of it will still be epics and stuff. So with a bit of some people playing a bit of mystics here and there, but in terms of the meta, it did change a lot. I don't think it changed too drastically, right? Because of the fact that like some people don't have the full runes and charms that they need as well, right? Because the only way that we get a mystic is well through crafting or the free box that they provided, right? But the free box only provided like one mystic rune, so it's like not really enough to kind of build the entire to build an entirely new mystic. So a lot of the things being played right now is all still very much uh, very much it's like a slight upgrade to. But one thing that's interesting that they changed was the minting time, right? So what I mean by this is in the first, ever since like minting of runes and charms was introduced into the game, it has always been 7 days, meaning like from the time you crafted it in game, you can only mint the runes and charms into NFTs after 7 days of owning it. So with which made sense back in the early days of Origins, right? Because in the early days of Origins, seasons wasn't broken up into eras, right? It was one full like 45-day season. So having a 7-day minting time was fine. But the thing about like this new era system, whereby each era is quite short, right, compared to like what it was. For example, this is only like 7 days. It doesn't make sense if, let's say, the minting time was 7 days as well, because it's just required. It's too much RNG required. So a lot of the community members the past few weeks, 3 weeks, yeah, 3 weeks, has been pretty vocal about the minting fee being 7 days, saying like how SM Sky Mavis needed to change the reduce the minting time down from 7 days uh, to a faster number, right? And so SM Sky Mavis chose to reduce the minting time from 7 days to 3 days. Which, yeah. What do you think about this change, though, Kousei?
I think for us players, especially for the casual ones, this is um the minting reduced from 7 days to 3 days is really good because majority of the people, or especially casual players like scholars, also wants to kind of somehow access other charms and other runes that they want to use based on their specific axes. So this could also give them a much more flexibility, and this also gives them, or it also gives players um a much more access to other runes and charms, especially the minting is reduced from 7 to 3 days. So not only they could also try to sell what they have, right, that they don't want to use, but at the same time, they could also buy stuff immediately that they need on their Axie team or their compositions. So for me, this 7 days to 3 days really benefits a lot for us players, because as to what Gabby is saying earlier, right? As to what he said earlier, um, this is the one that we really try to voice out, or we really try to say, especially to Sky Mavis, just so we could have a much more accessibility with regards to the runes and charms we're getting. So it's either we sell or either we buy. So yeah.
But have you noticed like any change in your crafting? Because now that I know that I'm able to buy mystic runes and charms for um not too expensive, right? I mean, it's still relatively on the expensive side, like me around like 100 mystic rune, but a little bit more affordable if you compare, right, to where it was last season. Last season, like one mystic rune can go upwards of like 1 ETH, which was insane, which kind of drove a lot of people out of the game.
Mhm.
But like right now, it's around like $100 for a mystic rune of your choice. I mean something usable, right? Not something like dot water, like daily exchange, I guess. Uh, so I think what I noticed about myself is I actually stopped crafting already. What about you? Are you still crafting?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still crafting in the chances of like getting like those kind of mystic moment things, or just get wanting to get a luck based from like the percentage. But yeah, like since like what we just discussed about, right? The minting is only 3 days, so right now it's, I think for me, right, it's also good to craft now, especially we all know that on Era 4, based from the graph earlier that Gabby showed us. Can you scroll up a bit, Gabby? Like the Substack. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we can see, right, on the final era, epic and mystic accessibility is increased. So like for me, right, it's also good to craft now, so that's why I'm crafting, because since the days are reduced, so like right now the mystics, runes, and charms um are in much more demand, since everyone is trying to push, and the probability, or like the increase probability of you getting an epic and mystic is pretty much low now. So once we get one, we can sell it like really expensive than on the final era as well. So that's what that one is also good to take. But for me, right, I think if you're more of a casual player, and like if you're more into a player um that just wants to stick with one comp, for example, right? It's just much more. I think it's also better to just wait for the final era, because this is also one of the pros, right? Or like one of the advantages, because as to what it says in the graph, right? Epic and mystic accessibility is increased. So that means the chances of you getting mystic runes, mystic charms, and epic runes, and epic charms are increase, right? So that's much more better for majority of the people, especially if they don't want to try and spend and just want to stick to what they've got, right? So that's
Mhm.
one good option to think about as well. Yeah.
Um, I do have a question, sir.
Mm-hmm.
On
Yeah.
the mystic moment in crafting, is there a sign that you will have a mystic charm or rune on your next craft, or or is it going to be an old chance, but your chance will go higher?
To
Will
this
there be a
at this
sign?
point, right? To be honest, I think the missing moment is fake, right? Like we've seen a lot of reports on Twitter, people like spending a lot, or I think 1437, right? He spent like 83,000 SLP on day one, and after spending 83,000
Moonshard.
SLP,
Moonshard. You mean
no,
moonshard?
SLP,
Oh.
SLP. He burned 83k SLP on day one, and he didn't craft a single mistake. Same for Stark. Stark did like quite a lot of. Stark is from Quest, right? 1437 is from MTA. I think Stark also did like a comparable amount of crafting, and he hasn't hit a single mistake as well. So a lot of people are reporting in the community that like the mystic moment feature might not be. We don't know, right? So I mean, to answer your question, is there is no indicator of whether you're gonna be hitting your mistake soon. So I mean that's the answer, I guess. There is no indicator, so we don't really know like when you'll be hitting your mistakes, when it happens and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really know like how the whole mechanic works. Um, I do think like the suggestion of having a indicator, like for example in the site it's saying like 10 more crafts and you will get a mystic moment. Like doing something like that would definitely be a good uh, quality of life change that I think Origins or Sky maybe should do. And I think they are gonna do it because I think like a lot of Twitter has did mention or like suggest to do something like that. just so that, like, it makes people's life better in terms of like wanting to craft. So yeah. Yeah. So, but like for the whole mystic moment thing, I don't know. Uh, I still have not crafted a single mystic. So, but I mean, I didn't really like do a lot of crafts as well because I'm just planning on just buying it myself off the market. So I haven't actually like have a mystic moment myself. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that's the thing. If like if they had like the whole infographic and then telling me like I'm gonna be crafting a mystic in, I'll definitely still be crafting, but I've more or less stopped crafting already.
Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
I know, like yeah, based from what they said, like Hale, the one who talks to community a lot, right, asking for feedbacks and everything. So what he's saying is that the reason why they didn't want to like put a certain amount of like what you need to craft, like for example, okay, 10 craft left and you get a mystic, it's more of an element of surprise. So that's like what they're trying to say because they don't want to let people like get spoiled on when are they gonna uh craft their mystics, but at the same time it's a bit bad as well, I guess, like based from the opinions of the players, since like of course there are people that doesn't want to really craft anymore, especially for those people who spent like a lot. So it's like for example 1437 and Stark, so they really spent a lot in like trying to craft, but they still didn't get one. So that's like one of the things that can also discourage people for trying to um get hope for that like mystic moment. So that's why I kind of also agree to what Gabby is saying, is that because like we don't really know when will we hit it, because there's no like actual indicator, like yeah, there's no indicator like for example the games like Genshin Impact or the other random number generator games that has an indicator whether you can already uh get a legendary or a um mystic character, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it with regards to the mystic moments.
Mhm. I mean, and moving on, like when we scroll down, the something they also introduced was balance updates. So the Sky Mavis, I think they are trying to make it a point whereby they don't change what's the word? They don't have major balance changes. They only try to fix bugs, for example, I think, or like very minor balance changes. So they are trying to do something like that. So they did introduce a change, and the change is two things. First, they fix red sage. They increase the stats, the base stat increment of red sage from 10% to 20%, and they changed Jinx, right? So before this, Jinx damage came in when the round started, but this change made Jinx damage comes in at the end of the round. So it is quite a significant change. This change was supposed to come in for the Epic era, but I think the developers didn't make it in. So this change was supposed to be coming in the Epic era, but it only came in now, so it's quite sad because this change really made back in Epic era, right? Jinx was a very solid comp because of the fact that the damage was coming in early. So like one of the counters was to play like double Lotus, and that couldn't even counter it because the damage came in at the start of the round. So what does that mean? Like even if you play double Lotus, when you go to round 25 and your Axies are like very low HP, you still get the damage first. So like having double Lotus as a counter doesn't even work because of the fact of like how the mechanic work. So yeah. Um, I think next thing we can kind of like talk about is more or less like how meta will change going into the Mystic eras, right? Like, what have you seen, and what do you think will be the meta as it progresses or on to the end of this Mystic era, and also maybe to the final, because we are coming to an end. We're already in the final 2 days of this Mystic era, right? We're already. I think Mystic era ends in 1 day and like 6 hours, something like that. So it's gonna be ending pretty soon. So yeah. So what, like, how did the meta change from day one, day two Mystic era compared to final day of Epic era? Yeah.
So, yes, I guess starting from it, yeah, we go from the bottom line, or like the start of the season first. So as we can see in like era one, we saw a lot of good archetypes immediately in like what the first 1 to 2 days. Back then, we see somehow of like a cottontail, little branch beast archetypes that we see like believers hitting like for what 90, 93 damage, so like more or less 200 damage. So that one we see like the usual back then on season 0, we already saw like those AoE kind of comps, but then it got readjusted, so we also see some AoE comps and then sustained comps on the first era. So the first era is a bit balanced. Like you can see a lot of diversity and in that era, but since it's only rares, right? So it's pretty much limited to as to compared to like the epic era. So for the era 2, we saw epic era. So that era really changed a lot in terms of the composition. So that's the time that like those great theory craft, those great players that who knows how to theory craft really push through and excel a lot. So then we really saw a lot of different comps back then. So in era 2, we saw Jinx comps. So Jinx comps is really good. It's like a top 3 comp. We saw swirl comps. We saw an upgraded AoE comps. We saw upgraded sustain comps that are using like adaptive programs and etc. We saw a tiny dino beast comp, which relies on like believer and a single target damages. So on era 2, it's like it's really a lot of changes, and the meta on that, like when you see like the top 100 leaderboards on like different Axie websites, you can really see like the diversity of it. So yeah, then now moving on to era 3, what do we expect? Like what do we think is the best approach for this Mystic era? So as to what we can see, right, on era 1 and era 2, there's still comps that are still there. So what I mean by that is like the same archetypes, right? So the sustain still lives on era 1, era 2, and will also live up to era 3, because there's a lot of good Axie runes and charms that go through with it. So with few adjustments, with few minor adjustments with the cards, AoE, sustain, and the single target damage team composition will still pretty much will be on the meta. So the new one that we can see right now, based from what Gabby is showing, is the um
Board.
bubble
Yeah.
meta. Yeah, the bubble meta. So as you can see, guys, like bubble is basically pure on like the sponges and the Nemo ears and Nemo eyes. So that's a really good one. So if you really paid attention, like if players really paid attention for in the first few days of the Era 3, the sponges are really cheap, and you could like buy it for like what, like around $10 to $30. So it's really cheap, and as you can see, it's performing quite well in the leaderboards. So this really shows that on this era, right, especially on Era 3, it's not just about how expensive the Axis is or how pay to win it is, right? So as you can see, there are a lot of people that uh really push in a lot using the sponge with just like what, like at least point 1 ETH more or less budget. So this shows that there are comps out there that to be find out that you can see in the marketplace as floor Axie prices. So this is one of the archetypes that shows up through the leaderboards besides the usual sustain, the usual AoE, and the usual single target damage cards, right? So if you're looking to push in the leaderboards, just for example, if you're wanting to push for like at least top 200, top 300, or even if you have the time to push now on top 100, there are some comps right now that are viable for you to play, especially if you're having on a tight budget. So as to
Yeah.
now, Gabby is showing one of our YGG Elite players, which is Taz, that is currently top 2 right now. And Gabby, you might want to discuss his comp and how does it work and how is it viable for players, not only for pro but to casual players as well.
So his comp is basically like what Kousei said, right? As the eras progress, AOE just became a little bit more optimized each era, each as like each week's pass, right? So and Stairs has been playing AOE all throughout the season, and he's just been slowly upgrading his comp, changing the way it works over time. So right now he's just this is just another version, or rather his and like a version of an AOE team, right? And he's going for a rage AOE team, or rather, okay, not say rage AOE, but rather uh rage stack AOEs, right? Because uh yeah, wait, does his comp go rage? I actually haven't like watched like his gameplay.
No, it
Does
doesn't.
it rage?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Doesn't.
It
So he,
doesn't.
he just yeah, okay. So he just tries to go like very high rage stacks, and then with very high rage stacks, right, you do each of his attacks do very high damage, right? Because on top of that, I think he's just trying to abuse the high rage stacks with high feather counts, and then I think when you have very high feather count and when you have very high rage stacks, like your wing horn, when you get the feather daggers after playing like the wing horn, you get feather daggers. I think each feather dagger does like quite a lot of damage, right? Like upwards of I'm seeing like upwards of like 40 to 50 per feather daggers, which is like pretty insane. So basically, like he's just doing a upgraded version whereby he's playing EA Rage, EA AOE comp, or like a Rage Feather comp type of thing. So yeah, yeah, and of course like his bug front, right? So why collect and protect is like I think collect and protect is like one of the more expensive mystic runes right now, because well, it gives you card draw and it gives you like defense as well, right? So like if you think about like collect and protect, they actually buffed collect and protect from last season, and this season they made it 60 shield instead of like, I think it was 50 shield last season. Now it's 60 shield, and you still get the same amount of cards. So what I think a lot of casual players don't understand is that getting cards in your hand, like increasing card draw in your hand, is actually a very is very important, because with more cards in your hand, you just have more options, right? Generally, so like Collect and Protect will always be a very good and viable thing in the meta. And yeah, and also because like Collect and Protect does work very well with Earwing, right? You draw more cards, right? Your Earwing just do more damage and stuff like that. So, but I mean, he does not. He's only playing like one Earwing, but yeah. Okay, so that's like the two archetypes that are doing pretty well. Another archetype actually that's doing like pretty well, and like a lot of people are trying to play around with is actually feather comps, right? It's like the upgraded version of what Elmo was trying to do last season, whereby you're playing feathers, which is this. So, basic idea of this comp is to have a lot of banish on your other two axes, meaning your front and your back, and then also having a lot of card draw in Collect and Protect to always cycle into your bird cards, right? Because once the owls reach max scaling point, I think they do like 5 hits, and at like very high feather stacks, they do like 50 per hit. So once you get to the point whereby your owls are scaled to the max, they do like 250 damage per owl card per 1 energy. I think it reaches around that, which is quite insane, right? The 1 energy you can do upwards of 200 damage, which is quite good. On top of that, on top of the fact that you have the Holy Prayer buff, right? So what Holy Prayer does is it gives you 10% bonus stats on all your cards if you have no curse cards in your deck. So with the combination of a very small deck, the 10% buff from Holy Prayer, this machine gun bird can really rip through a lot of people, right? The only thing that really counters this is more or less like sustains that plays triple or even 4 Indian stars. It's possible, right? Because of Innocent Land. So the only comp that I think counters this is more or less sustains, right? And why this comp is doing very well in the season right now is because of things like Sponge, right? This comp is basically just trying to beat the current popular meta, which is Sponge, like the one that Gustav was talking about. So that's that comp. Other things that are pretty popular now is like what I was saying, sustains, right? So there's a few sustain players in the leaderboard. I'm one of them. Humongous Ego is one of those, or rather Ego. So this is Ego, right? So this is his comp, and like Paradise as well. Where is Paradise? Paradise. So Paradise also, right? He's the high. Oh wait, no, he's not playing. Never mind. So it's just Ego, right? Ego is like one of the highest sustain comps. So Jose, do you wanna explain this comp, because low-key, like, you kind of like the one who theory crafted this comp for me. That's why I'm playing the comp right now. So yeah.
Yeah, so basically, guys, pretty much, as you all know, since like season 0, sustain has been really there throughout. So majority of the time, what the sustain usually do is try to adjust within the meta, try to adjust how to win against the meta. So basically, what Ego is trying to do here is trying to counter the meta, which is majority of the people that are using sponges, majority of the people that are trying to use um that are
AoE and
AoE, triple ults, the one that Gabby was saying. So as you can see right here, he has a lot of like Indian stars, and I'm assuming even though we cannot see the runes and charms, if you might just scroll down a bit, Gabby.
uh, yeah.
Sorry. Um, So if we're trying to see like um his comp, so it's mostly pure on pure on Indian stars and scaly spoons as well. And as we can see, he also has shield and backup. So the reason why he's trying to do that is just because he just wants to stack his shields and um try to survive the 1v3 potentially on later game because um his cards like over time whenever his midline and frontline Axie dies, he just gonna get the same card sets that he wants, which is his mech card. So over time his Indian star will just reflect 100 per 100 per hit of the enemy. So that's how the sustain comp works. He just reflects, and
Me?
um majority of the time the opponent's Axie just dies. And at the same time, since there are comps like Swirls who just tries to buy a lot of time, he also has a tiny fan and his shielded backup, which is really good, just so that he could kill the Axie that is carrying on the team. So for example, the one that Gabby was saying, the Little Owl team. So majority of the time that's their carry, right? So once he just kills it with the tiny fan, pretty much the game is over. The opponent cannot win. So that's what this comp revolves about. It's just about trying to um utilize the adaptive program to get enough energy fragments before that Axie die, and at the same time the Holy Prayer dies, and the shield and backup just finishes the game and tries to reflect or tries to kill the opponent's carry. So yeah, basically for sustain, that's it. So we might see a few changes here and there. Here and there. Basically it really depends how the meta how the meta cycles. So we might see a different sustained comps here and there, especially on Era 4. So yeah.
Mhm. I think that's more or less like all the metas that is very popular now, right? Sustains, Sponge, Owls, and AoE, right? There a little bit of Curse and Swirls are still in the meta, right? But they are struggling a lot because of the fact that, well, Holy Prayer is a direct counter to both Swirl and Jinx, but Jinx, one Holy Prayer can get overrun when they fight against Jinx, right? This morning I did have a tough time against a Jinx player because he had like paralyzing jellyfish everywhere, so it was quite insane. Yeah, so I actually lost to a Jinx player this morning, even though I was playing Holy Prayer, and it was quite insane because I think he was running 12 Jinx, and 4 or 5 of his Jinx had jellyfish. So he cycled through and like put in quite a lot of Jinx into my deck. So it was quite insane. There's also something else that we should kind of touch on, which is the camping issue, I would say, in like the leaderboard right now. So when we look at, for example, like meat value, right? His comp is more or less gonna get beaten by like one Holy Prayer, right? And then you're gonna be asking like, why is he still in the rank 4, right? Why is he still rank 4 even though like Holy Prayer is like so prevalent and like so abundant in the leaderboard as well? Well, I mean, there's like kind of two reasons. First, I mean, if you can see, right, like if you look at the date, he played 5 days, 4 days, and 2 days, right? So what does that mean? It just means like the decay system that was supposed to happen didn't happen. So it was confirmed that so how it's supposed to work in Challenger is if you don't play one game a day, your MMR would be decayed. Like you would lose some boogers, as what Kousei would say, right? You will lose like some stars. But the thing is, I think Sky Mavis didn't know that they had an issue. So there were a lot of players who didn't get affected, even though they didn't play a lot of games. Because Meat Value was focusing on the Vietnam qualifiers, right? Because which he did qualify for. So like a lot of his time and bandwidth was to the tournaments. That's why he didn't play any leaderboard. And he didn't play for 2 whole days, and his MMR didn't decay. So that was one of the reason why he's still very high, even though he's playing like an outdated. Another reason is also because like so when you think about the MMR system, right? It really incentivizes people to not play a lot of games when they reach a high rank. Right? When you reach rank 1, for example, you are incentivized to not play because there's just no reason for you to play. Right? If you play in boost, you'll just be risking a lot because of like the money or like the rewards, right? So the rewards structure and the leaderboard is just the higher you go, you're less incentivized to play. So one strategy that a lot of the top players do is to, once they have a very broken comp, right? Like this world comp that Me Value plays, it was the best comp in Epic Era, right? It had like an 80 to 85% win rate, which was insane. Right. So what they did, which was I think very smart. I think this was like more or less pioneered by Stats like from YGG. So Stats always does this every season. He would get a very broken comp. He would grind it super high to like a very, very, very high rank of stars or rank. And then he just plays one game a day to avoid decay, so that he can confirm a very high placement. He can't confirm rank 1, right? Because that strategy doesn't allow you to get rank 1. It allows you to get top 10. Because you just push the gap so far, right? That you can always confirm a very high. So that's kind of like what they are doing. The people at, for example. Not all of them, like some of them are playing, but so the people who are doing it is like Zelly, Revalue, Zanzaki, Wargos, and Ralo, right? These 5, I think I just named 5, 4. They pushed up super high back in Epic Era, and now that their MMR, their stars is so far from like everybody else, they can just play one game a day. Because let's say, like for example, we take Zelly, right? He's at 2043. And the Mystic Era is only 7 days, right? You just say you play like one game a day. Let's say you just lose every single game. He at most loses around like 6 to 7 stars a day. So in 7 days, he loses around 40 stars, which still puts him 2000 MMR. So in these 7 days, if he loses that one game a day straight, he's still top 5, which is like that's the kind of reason like why a lot of people are debating this issue right now, because it's kind of an issue, though it's also like a strategy that they're employing. So yeah, so I think it's just up to like Sky Mavis to deal with this, I guess. Do they want this kind of thing to exist in the leaderboards in the future, or is it like something that's fine because it's a strategy, right? So yeah, but yeah. So what do you think though, Jose, on this?
Yeah, pretty much I guess it will like, since there's like a mixture of um opinions with regards to camping, right? Like, we already see a lot of poll in Twitter with regards to how do they want to change it, or like, in a way, like, what does people think about it. So we might see a different um like a different system, I guess, on based on how the ranking decay system works, because there are people that thinks it's unfair for just people to just camp, and there are also people that thinks it's fair since they also like tried to push a lot early, and like yeah, and they try to push early, and they try to buy the most expensive or the most broken comp, rather, just to take advantage of everyone. So yeah, um there's a lot of mixed opinions about it, but I guess for me, either way, both are fine, because I can see it being fair, but at the same time, um like them also just chilling, especially not playing like through various seasons, like, because right now, right, like for example, FF, Zelly and Meat, those are their MMR since like what, 4 days ago, and they're just not moving around, so they're still like the top one. So basically, like, the price that they would be getting is still like quite a large amount, right?
Mhm.
But on the other hand, we cannot also blame them in a way, because they're the ones who tried to risk buying a comp, and they're also the ones that try to theory craft and try to push to their outmost limit, I guess that's how we could say it, and just try to camp. And that's also a one good strategy, right, that we could also um try to do. So yeah, I guess we will see for the next season. They might implement a new ranking decay system on how the whole decay system works. So yeah, I mean, we're all looking forward to it, right? So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you can't blame them, right? End of the day, it's not their fault, right? They just saw an opportunity. They saw like, okay, the era is only 7 days, right? And with the decay system being what it is right now, it's basically free money for them. And Sky Mavis was the one. Sky Mavis kind of like allowed this to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, it definitely needs to get fixed, right? With a new decay system and like maybe longer eras.
Yeah, longer
So
era
yeah,
for
longer era, new decay system. So we'll see like what Sky Mavis does. But like now, like no fault to them, no fault to the players, right? It's a strat, right? End of the day, strat to get you higher in the leaderboard, to get you more money in the leaderboard. It is gonna be that, right? And so yeah, but I mean, like, it's getting to like rank one, or like getting to 2050 stars is very hard, and they needed to play like very, 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 very well to be able to get to that point. So yeah, so I think people need to understand that as well, right? They have the luxury of camping because they are just good, right? They have better comp than everyone, and it's just a strat that they did. So yeah, yeah. I think other than we've more or less covered everything that we have to cover for this Mystic era. So yeah, I think that's more or
All
less
right.
it.
So yeah. So thank you, Sir Bigabi and Sir Kousei. I do have some personal questions here. Uh, since we're on the Mystic era, right? What can I receive some insights about, giving each player some Mystic runes? Do you think? I mean, it's good on every player, on each player, but what do you think are the disadvantages of it into the game? Do you think that, does it destroy the crafting mechanic of the game or something?
You mean giving like a free runes and charms, is it, to players?
Yeah.
Uh, Personally, I think it's okay. It just them giving free runes and charms doesn't really destroy the market in the sense, because for a comp to work, you still need two more mistakes, right? You can't just survive on having. So there is always going to be a demand for having more than one. So what this does is just makes it cheaper for everyone. So I think it's good in general, right? The cheaper runes and charms get, the easier it is to enter the game and to do well in the game for a cheaper price, which then in leads to like mass adoption of XP Origin. So I think it's good. It's a step in the right direction. So I like the change, giving free runes and charms like that. Yeah. As long as they don't give too much for free, it won't be an issue.
All right. How about you, Sir Kosei? What do you think do you think there's a disadvantage of giving each player some mystic rune or charms?
I think I kind of agree as to what Gabby's saying, so I'm just gonna give like extra thoughts about it, I guess. Like because not only so what Gabby said, but this also gives players, especially the casual ones, the ones that doesn't really get to experience to use like mystic runes and charms, to have an opportunity to um create or like try to theory craft a comp that could work with only one mystic runes, or potentially like one to two, or like this in general, or in summary, this just gives um players flexibility to, or like more access, I guess. They are more free to test comps that they want to use. Like for example, right, this sponge team that didn't really excel well on Epic. Like you rarely see them. And the thing is, this comp is somehow um, a floor Axie price that you can see on the marketplace. So with literally one free Mystic rune, it entirely changed the whole leaderboards. And as you can see, there are a lot of people that are using it, because not only it's a cheap it's a cheap comp, but it's more of a comp that you could use with only one Mystic rune. So not only it is cheaper for everyone that wants to access or wants to buy Mystic Rune and Marketplace, but at the same time, it also gives flexibility to the players to try and create a meta for themselves. So yeah.
All right.
Mm.
I think this will be my last question. What's your insight about the next era or the final era? Do you think there's some changes that is needed before they start the final era? Do you think it deserves some nerfs or buffs to some cards or skills?
Um,
Mm,
I guess since they already said it pretty much, like Sky Mavis said pretty much, there wouldn't be any nerfs that would happen unless there are some like broken stuffs that unless there are some interactions rather that are not supposedly um working on the game itself. So I expect there would be no buffs, right? I mean, there would be no buffs, there would be no nerfs. But I guess if there are like bug fixes, of course they would fix that after the year three. But now we're already seeing, we're like right now we're already seeing the transition or the shifting on the Mystic, since year three is all about Mystic runes and charms already. So we're already seeing the transition, like um changing of cards between the usual archetypes that we're seeing, which is the AoE, etc. Um, so um, I guess what we can expect for the era four, the coming era four, after these 2 days after the era three ends, is that we will see a much more optimized comps um that that is available right now, or the comps that we can see in the leaderboards. And I'm also predicting that there will be other few comps that other guilds that are trying to hide as well, and that they just want to showcase on era 4, because like of course era 4 is the most important era, right? So we will definitely see a lot of new stuff. And the usual stuff that we are seeing in the leaderboards, but more optimized. So yeah, if you guys, especially if the casual players are trying to buy, I guess it's much more better to wait, especially if you're trying to push for high ranking like top 500, top 300, or top 100. So I suggest it's just much more better to if you're planning to buy a comp, it's much more better to just wait and see how the meta goes, so that the money that you will try to invest in will be much more worth, and a much more capable team. You can buy a much more capable team that you can try to basically use and push for the ladders, for the ladder on year 4. So yeah.
All right. So thank you, Sir Biggabie and Sir Kousei, for the insights about the new update, the Mystic era. And now we are done to our game, or to our bootcamp, the Axie Infinity Origin. And now let us jump to the streamer versus viewer, where each of these YGG Elite players will play and will fight for the 50 USD and a dare of the winner of the if the viewer wins. So the winner will win 50 USD and can dare the pro players to post anything on their Twitter. Alright, so now we prepared two players actually, and both of you guys will play. I think this is a best of 3, right? Or do you want to have just only best of 1?
Depends. Will best of 3 take very long?
Alright. So I think it will be a best of 1 only.
Yeah, because
Alright.
Gabi is playing a sustain, so that would take like normally
30 minutes.
or like
30 minutes. Okay.
Alright.
So are we doing like nakeds or what?
I think we're going on nakeds, since players don't have that much runes or charms, you know.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
I think the first challenger was Densky of Evo YGG, but unfortunately, I didn't see him on our Discord. But all right. So I think Bloody James will play first, and then we'll go back to Densky once Bloody James already finished playing. All right.
Okay.
So who's the one that will play first? Sir Biggabie or Sir
I
Kousei?
guess, I guess it's
Kousei. No. It's Kousei. Kousei. I need to think of a comp. No.
Yeah,
Kousei.
this is just a best of 1, so you really need to think of a comp that will be a sure win for you guys. I can play while watching. Bloody James. Will you play Sir Biggabie or Sir Kousei, or you will just pass the opportunity to other players?
what do you mean by past opportunity?
No. I mean, Bloody James will. I think he will not play. All right.
Oh.
All right. So you can now open your app, Bloody James, and then add Sir Kousei. You can drop your in-game name here on the Discord chat, and then
Do I
Sir
need to share my
Kousei.
screen?
All right, wait. No, send your in-game name, Bloody James, not the Ronin. All right, Sir Kousei send his name on the Discord channel. All right. Yep, we can see your screen now, sir. I wonder what comp will Bloody James used against Kousei, one of our YGG elites. Good luck. What comp will you play,
Ah,
Sir Kousei?
So I guess it's a mixture of I guess it's a straightforward single damage composition, which I think it's pretty good on naked. So I guess I'm just gonna go on it and just try to high roll uh Bloody James since it's just naked, right? So there's not
Yep.
much more of an option, I guess, to use. Mhm.
All right. Bloody James is one of the members of the Sylphie Academy, and I think the axis that he will use is based on the inventory of the YGG scholars. All right, and then YGG Bloody James already sent his name
I think
on the English chat.
I don't think he didn't send his name, but I already found him.
All
So
right.
yeah, you can just try to accept.
You can accept him, Bloody James. Oh, yeah. All right.
I don't know what to play.
Let's just wait.
Shit.
Oy, Gabby, your name.
Hmm?
Your name, bro.
Oh, okay, okay.
Bloody James, did you already accepted Sir Kousei? I think Sir Kousei already added you. And you can
Uh,
just check your mail and then accept Sir Kousei, and alright. Kousei sa Bloody James already accepted it. And yeah.
this is naked, by the way.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so I guess you're trying to remove all the runes first, so maybe I can prepare more. Okay,
Yep.
never mind. Okay.
Alright. While we are waiting for all those viewers who watch on our social media platforms, you can go to our YGG English channel, English Voice, and join to watch live the plays of Sir Kosei versus Bloody James. And yeah, let's go to the game. Um, yeah. So Bloody James chose the first play, and then ooh, Lord Jim just sent a video of someone singing. I think if Bloody James win this, I think Bloody James will dare Sir Kosei to sing on his Twitter account.
Okay, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. So again, this is just a best of one. So yeah, good luck to both players. Sir Biggabie, what do you think is the winning condition of Bloody James in this match?
Uh, huh. Looking at their axes is basically is whether Bloody James can get 2 Cottontail value off.
Yep.
If he can't, then I think he'll have a tough time. Because
Alright.
Kousei most probably will be getting both his Cottontail value off because of like goldfish, Nemos, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and his Cottontail is on the middle side, so it cannot be killed easily. But Bloody James Cottontail is one on the front, and then there's also one on the back. So if Sir Kosei killed the front Axie, Bloody James will not be able to play his Cottontail on the front side. All right. Oof. Big play, big play.
Mhm.
So Bloody James just thinking some moves on how to beat Sir Kosei. So everyone saw on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You can join on our English voice and you can be one of the challengers of these two YGG elites next week. All right. Oof. I Who's on the winning side? Bloody James or Sir Kosei? Oh,
Uh, it looks like Kousei
yeah,
because Barry James will take 3 energy to kill this guy at the mid line, and
yeah.
then Kousei will have 2 turns to be swinging 6 energy onto the mid line. So, yes. You play sword, yeah.
All right. Since Densky is not here on the English voice, I think Sir Jude will be the one who play with Sir Big Gabby. All right.
Ah,
So
alright.
Sir Jude, please send your in-game name on the Discord channel so Sir Big Gabby can add you on the game. All right, and I think that will be a game. Sir Kosei winning
Jeez. GG.
versus Bloody James. GG's.
GG, GG.
Sir Kosei, do you have any tips, on Bloody James on how can he improve the game, or do you think he play well on his comp?
I guess you cannot really say that he didn't do well. It's
Yep.
because it's only naked and like
Mm,
majority of his cards are just like um based on like RNG dependent. So as we can see right there, he had the chance to use his cottontail at the front, but he
but
didn't get to draw it.
yep,
So that's like um a huge disadvantage for him. But overall, pretty much like as to um what he did, I mean, he did a pretty pretty good job like playing the cards or like just playing the axes that are available um to its full potential. So I guess the tips um that I could give to him is just to watch streamers, watch players, and over time you will learn what does the cards do and what are the common team compositions that he could try. And yeah, I mean, as the time progresses, when you just play the game throughout your day, like play 20 energy or such, you will absorb the informations even though you're not really trying to. So yeah, GG, well played for Bloody James, and
all
let's try
right.
to improve in the game. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
GG's. And now we are done to Sir Kosei versus Bloody James match, and we are going to see the match of Big Gabby and Sir Jude. So Sir Big Gabby, did you already add Sir Jude? Already add each other?
I yeah.
All right. I think
I
you're presenting the wrong screen. All right.
don't know what to play, to be honest.
Jude is one of the scholars of Level Up YGG. Sir Kuku's
Mm,
Sir Kuku's team.
right. I guess I just do this. I guess I don't know. Uh, shit. All right. I guess we just go.
Triple all. Sana all. All right, we're going to see a triple owl composition versus a triple beast comp by Jude of Level Up
I guess
YGG.
we can commentate on how Gabi will lose this, and Jude should just prepare for a dare for Gabi because
Yeah.
I think he's gonna lose this matchup.
um, I think it. I didn't saw Sir Big Gabby dance a TikTok trend. I think
Mhm.
I really
No,
I'm
it's
really
fine.
curious how Sir Big Gabby dance. You know.
It's fine. It's fine. He will dance soon.
Wow, Jude is aiming on the backside of Sir Big Gabby.
Mm-hmm. Because Gabi's main core is his backliner. So once the backline dies, it's pretty much game over. So
Oof.
let's see. We'll see how Mr. Gabi responds to that. How Mr. Brazil responds.
Sheesh. So Sir Jude's comp is a what type of comp, sir?
Uh, Jude's comp is just basically a bleed comp. So
Oh, a bleed comp.
yeah, so his comp is just focuses on trying to bleed out the enemy basically with his dual blades, jaguars, and chubby. So it's really good against Gabby because once he targets the back as he what usually does, is really good for him. So right now, right, we can see Gabby's losing moment. So
Yep.
I think we'll see a dance soon.
And those draw of cards.
Like
That's
yeah. So you can see like it's pretty much doomed for him already. So
yeah.
I
But we
guess
will see. We'll see if Sir Big Gabby can clutch
can try to
this
put
match.
a miracle on this match, but I don't think so. But let's see. So as far as I know, Dizzy Boy, like our captain, is the one who danced the last
Yep.
time. So I guess we will see now the vice captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here it's pretty much favor already. The game is pretty much done. He knows
Ooh.
the surrender. So here we can see, guys, even if you're a tiger and you're fighting a challenger, it doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Sheesh.
Yep.
Alright.
GG.
And that's it for our game. Sir Jude win against YGG Elite, Sir Biggabie. Congrats, Jude. Sir Jude will
Yes.
receive 50 USD
Congrats,
of
congrats.
YGG tokens and can dare Sir Biggabie to
Yeah,
post
so
something on his Twitter.
so Jude, I just wanted to ask if you have any tips for Gabi to how he can improve his gameplay and like furthermore yeah, improve his skills. So what tips can you give him? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just
Yep, yep.
kidding. Anyway, moving forward. Mhm.
Yeah. Congrats, Jude. You can DM Sir Senpu for your prize for tonight's um match. And for your dare on Sir Big Gabby, did you already have something on your mind? Or we
Please
can
nothing. Okay. Okay, no need, no need, no that, no that. $50 good already, okay? Okay.
oh, you don't have any dares, Jude? Or you just,
What dance?
Wait, I will help you, Jude, since I know
Ting
Gabby is a
tang.
good Gabby is a good dancer. So no, Ting Ting
wow.
Tang is the one that Dizzy danced before. So uh we can check something. Like these are the times that we really need to think of because like
This is a once in a lifetime
once in a
moment.
lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, yeah. I think Sir Jude
yeah, yeah,
asks if
yeah, yeah.
Sir Big
Just put a
Gabby
good
can
one,
dance.
okay? Like this costs like a lot, so Gabby's
Yep.
talent fee with regards to dancing is really a lot in like Malaysia. So now we're gonna see it for free, right? So
Let's go.
we better take the opportunity. Once we see the
Ah,
opportunity, we grab it.
Yep.
sure. What TikTok am I going to do?
Yeah. Did you know the Ting Ting Tang dance cover on TikTok?
Yes, I know that.
Yeah. Since you already know the trend, I think that is the one that you can dance, for our viewers.
Someone clip the
Right. So I do
screen.
it now. Wait,
I mean,
I need to look at.
you can do it now, or you can just, record it and then post it on your Twitter.
I guess it's much more better if we see it live.
I do it
So
here. How
Yeah.
about do we live? We do it.
Yeah, we do
We
it
just do it
live.
live.
Yeah. The viewer said
This work.
wait. Don't dance yet.
all right. And Sir Exot sent a
I think Exalt is better, Gabi.
yeah, yeah. I think Sir
Like this is
uh
Ting Ting Tang is the one that DC did before. So this,
yeah.
since it's Filipino friendly, so majority of the Filipino knows this, right? So
DC didn't do Ting Ting Tang, but he did something else.
Yeah, I didn't do the Ting Ting Tang, but
but yeah, this is better, Gabi. You
yeah.
just do it. Jude, what do you want? This or Ting Ting Tang?
I can't do Ting Ting Tang. Oh my god, I don't know how to do
No,
that.
no, no, no. Check
Uh
check the check
Sir
the
Exalt's video is I think is more easier
yeah, it's
than
more
the
easy.
Ting Ting Tang.
What the hell? Okay. Bro, also damn hard eh. Oh my
Did
god.
everything hard for you?
Okay, whatever. Do I need to on the sound also?
Yep.
Okay, bruh. Uh,
Yeah, this is called the Magpakailanman Challenge.
Uh, Wait, I have no idea how to do this on my things right now.
So
oh,
while Sir Biggabie is preparing for his dance, I would like to invite everyone on our social media platform to join our Discord every Monday, 9 p.m. SGT.
bro, very hard eh. Oh my god.
your your body solid as rock, bro.
Hey, no. Sheesh.
Okay, okay, enough,
Hey.
enough. I'm done, 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 done. Enough, enough. We done, we done, we done. Okay, 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 okay. We done, we done, we done, we done, we done. All right, okay, okay, we done, we
I
done, we done.
I can stop now.
Oh,
Ah,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah,
Done, done.
yeah. Thank you so much, Sir Biggabie, for showing your dancing skills. And I'm pretty sure that our viewers enjoyed it as well. So
I
yeah,
can't wait to retweet that tweet on YGG.
yeah.
All right.
All right. So I think that's that's pretty much it. Before we end our stream, Sir Kousei and Sir Bigabi, would you like to plug your social media accounts or streaming page and do some shout outs to our viewers for today?
Uh, yeah. So I mean, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. All right, both are Big Gabby. You can find me there. I stream quite regularly. Not daily, but like almost daily. So yeah.
as for me, on Twitter, Kousei YGG, on Facebook, Kousei YGG as well. So I stream a bit very rarely, I guess, like twice a week, or depending on how busy it is, how busy it is. So yeah, I'll see you guys there, and thank you so much for watching today's bootcamp.
All
Yeah.
right. So that is all. Thank you guys for joining for tonight's bootcamp. See you guys next week. Bye bye.
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 GG's.